How do you know that you have done shadow work? How do you actually know that your inner wounds are being transformed? They're being healed so that you can unlearn what you are not and remember who you truly are. This is what we're going to discuss in today's video. Hello everyone, my name is Doris Victoria. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It is so nice to have you here. I am a soul empowerment and conscious millionaire coach, and my mission and purpose is it to help people remember who they are so that they can live authentically and sovereign as those beautiful light beacons that they came here to be. So in today's video, as I promised, we are going to look at our inner wounds, and actually I'm going to share with you what is always helping me. I have my ways and tools to check in with myself. Where am I in my own healing journey? What is there still for me to learn? What still needs to be looked at? What still needs to be transformed, accepted, loved? Because everything in life is duality, you know? So one of the big illusions that I would like to clean up here first is so many of my clients keep asking me, but you know, shouldn't I no longer have negative emotions? I am spiritual now. I am, I'm here to give my light, to shine my light. So I'm no longer allowed to have negative emotions. But this is a big illusion, dear one, because the fact is that we, as I said, everything is duality. We are inhaling, we're exhaling. There's dark, there's light. We need to look at our inner wounds, and we are invited to accept them, acknowledge them, love them back into perfect health, actually. This is our purpose here. So no human being would be on earth without any negative emotions, because we are by definition feeling beings, and the feeling range, as we are dual in this kind of like incarnation here on earth, because even earth has two polarities, and so do we, there's always the light side and then there's the dark side. We are really, we would be imperfect not to have negative feelings or negative emotions. And actually, I would like to clean up even more the fact that they are negative, just because they're negative or they're in a lower vibrational range does not mean that they are negative to feel. They are here to teach us lessons. Every emotion is here to teach us something, because every emotion we are feeling, the soul needs to lower itself so that it can rise again into higher vibrations. So if we are not allowing ourselves to go there, to go to those lower vibrational feelings like frustration or sorrow or sadness or fear or anger, we cannot heal them. And we need to feel in order to heal. So I'm going to share with you, as I promised, some tools that are always helping me, because I'm kind of like, I became my own spy when I decided to do this walk towards the light, this walk towards the truth of who I am, unlearning who I am not so that I can actually remember who I am. And when we remember who we are, that's when we will remember why we are here. There is no remembering of our purpose before we remember who we are. And in order to remember who we are, we need to look at those lower vibrational feelings. So shadow work is very much exactly that work. You are going into these lower vibrational ranges without fear, without being afraid. You got yourself, and you can look at it with acceptance, with love, with kindness. As I shared in some of my videos already, Rumi said it so beautifully. The human body is a guest house, and our emotions are our guests. So every guest is allowed to come in and share their purpose with us, and we are invited to look at every guest. So here are some tips and tools that are helping me when I'm checking in with myself. First, you can laugh at yourself. And when I say that, I do not mean that you laugh about yourself. No, you don't laugh at yourself in a condescending way and kind of like beating yourself up and telling yourself, oh, you idiot, you did that wrong again, or, you know, no, you don't beat yourself up. You are laughing at the situation and at the way your human self reacted, because your soul has got you, because you know who you are, you know your worth. And you kind of like, oh, isn't that one of those days? Isn't that just funny that this happened? And isn't it beautiful that we got us, that I got me, and that I know that the universe got my back, and that everything is gonna always work out for me? This is just such a funny situation. So if you can react to something that is not working the way you would want it to, that is a big, big thing. A second tool that I want to share with you is observe yourself when you are having an argument with someone. So are you still easily being triggered? For example, like if this person, let's say your romantic partner, is telling you something that you don't want to hear or that is hurtful, do you in this moment feel triggered? Is it hurting you inside and you feel compelled to answer back in an argumentative way? Or are you able to reflect about this and take a breath and then just let your inner being decide, okay, this is coming from her or his hurt place. This has nothing to do with me. I know myself. Jesus always said, know thyself. And many spiritual masters have said that before, know thyself, because that's where our truth is, that's where our knowing is. So in this moment, first of all, do you feel triggered? And if you still feel triggered, there is some wounds that would like to be looked at by you. There's still some work that you have to do in terms of your shadows, in terms of your healing. And so when you're feeling triggered, it is always a sign you need to go within, look for these places, invite them in, and love them back into health, emotional health. Then watch yourself when you are being assertive. You are being assertive, an amazing tool for me to check in to see where I am in my own shadow work is if I can be assertive without being rude or without being passive aggressive. So if you can be assertive on setting rules, on setting boundaries, for example, you know your worth, you know your value, you are not gonna lower yourself anymore in order to fit in or to, fill somebody else's need who is not yet on your, on your height, but not in a hierarchic way, on your height when it comes to having done this emotional work, having done this shadow work. You're not lowering yourself, you're being assertive about your needs and values, and you can also take criticism from another person without becoming defensive, because you know your worth and you are able to discern when something comes, if that is, so to speak, the shit of the other person or if it's yours. Because if it triggers you, there's probably still some work that you need to do. But if it doesn't trigger you, you are able to discern, okay, this is their own stuff. This is what they need to deal with. And then instead of arguing, you can just ask powerful questions. You can just ask powerful questions like, is this coming from your hurting self? Is this coming from do you think this is coming from your soul? Or do you think this is coming from your lower self? What part resonates? Is it the human, the conditioned part, or is it your soul self, your light? So these are some tools for me that have always helped me to discern where am I. And I want to share something else with you that is, for me, always helpful. When you are sensitive, like we old souls, most of us are empaths. We are highly, highly emotional, intelligent, and we are highly empathetic as well, which means we feel the emotions of another being. And so when we are in crowds, for example, When you come home and you have been in a crowd and you feel exhausted, and then you blame the crowd for having taken away your energy, and just, you know, you're kind of like, oh, I need some time for myself, I need to stay away from people. That is completely normal for an empath. But are you able not to have your energy drained, but stay in a way that you can be your own kind of like, your own energetic Taurus is activated, your own light is activated, you are being true to yourself, your light inside of you is ignited, and hence your Merkaba, your energy field that is around you will even have the power to create peace in the surroundings around you. Like either crowds, or you're in a chaotic situation somewhere, or whatever it is, you know, your energy, if you stay grounded, if you know that you're protected by your own light, you have this peaceful energy field that you will radiate out, and then you will actually infuse the surroundings with that light. That is also being conscious. That has a lot to do with how much inner work, how much shadow work you have done. Because the more shadow work we do, the more our own flame of light will burn again, the more our own light will shine again, you know. So, and then one more thing that I want to share with you, and it happens to me all the time, is that people feel attracted to you. People just want to be in your presence because something is different about you. Something in your energy is different. You are being peaceful, you're being joyous, even though chaos might be around you. People just want to be in your energy because they feel that truthful energy about joy and love and peace and whatever, you know. So as I said, this is happening often, or people come to you and they are opening up to a complete stranger. They've never seen you before, but you are the one they're opening up to. That is showing you that you have actually done a lot of work. And remember, beautiful soul, is we don't necessarily need to suffer when we are doing this shadow work. Many of my clients are actually afraid to go there because they're like, I don't want to suffer again. I just don't want to go back into these childhood wounds. They're too painful. I don't want to look at them. You know, I mean, some of them might even be so traumatic that we have dissociated from them, or that we have no memory about them. But we are here really as light, knowing that our soul always got us, and that it's only the physical self maybe that is afraid to look there. But as you are always having yourself, you got you, the universe got your back, and the universe is you, because you are the universe. We're not separated. Know that it doesn't have to be painful, you know. You can just be the love, you can just be the light. You allow this emotion in, you look at it, you feel it, because remember, there is no healing without feeling. And then you will feel, you know, sometimes we just have to feel something for 1 minute. We just have to be fully present with one of those emotions that don't feel comfortable, and it will dissolve. It doesn't need more. And to illustrate this, I would like to share a little story here for you that a dear friend of mine, she did with her boys. She had 2 little kids, and she told me once that they were on the road. They had 2 residences, one in Canada and the other one in Arizona in the US. And so they were always kind of like driving in between the 2. And it was a long road, but they decided to take the car and kind of like see the country as they were, you know, going north. And so one day, one of the boys that was 4 years old started crying in the car. And then she, the mother, instead of, you know, trying to soothe it, trying to tell you, oh, stop crying, you know, or something, she was asking, what is going on, my darling? Why are you crying? And the boy said, I forgot my toys. I wanted to take this particular toy to the other home, and I forgot it. And instead of reasoning with this boy and telling him, oh, you have other toys that are waiting for you, or, you know, we will buy you some other toys. She just held his hand and she was looking at him and she said, I know you're sad. And that's okay. You can be sad. She was just there. She was just present with him, looking at him in compassion, allowing him to feel what he felt, allowing him to feel that sadness. And suddenly the boy looked outside the window and said, oh, mommy, look, a balloon. And so, because he was allowed to feel this emotion, and he was not quieted down by a parent who didn't want the child here crying or something. The mother was just being present, listening, being present with his sadness, and then it dissolved. It just dissolved. And this is what happens to us as well. And sometimes, as I said, it doesn't need long. It can just take 1 or 2 minutes. It doesn't have to be a long time. That you feel that you're being present with a negative emotion, because no emotion is negative, and it will transform, it will dissolve itself. So remember, beautiful soul, that you've got this, that the universe loves you, and the universe is what's within you. So look at yourself through those loving eyes of your soul that knows all the answers, that got you always, that got your back. You're not alone. And I hope it helped you. If you liked this video, as always, please subscribe, please share, please like. It means so much to me. You cannot imagine how much that means to me. So anyway, and let me know in the comments below what you're taking away from me, what you're taking away from today's video. What are you taking for yourself that you could do better in the future for yourself? Or maybe there's something that you need help with. I also invite you to ask your questions in the comments below. If there's a particular subject that you would like me to talk about, it's all possible here. Just put it in the chat. I'm looking forward to read your comments. Mwah! Lots of love and have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye for now.